I have some questions
Good.
before I forget them. um, um, uh, the sensations that we experience, such as the heat, the visual things that we see when you shape shift. Are these anything to pay attention to?
Honestly, I don't think so.
Mhm.
I think what we see are projections, in many cases, abstract projections, light projections of our inner life. And if we start paying attention by thinking about them, you're just going to destroy the experience. So the whole purpose of this is you have these projections. I mean, people see light, auras, colors, they see transformational things that take place, but everything is just energy. And we are here to be focused inside, to absorb that energy inside ourselves so we can use it to grow and develop a really strong chakra system. If you start paying attention to these things, it really detracts you from what you are doing. And it stops the energy from absorbing inside you and building inside you strong chi, power, an open heart, love, a quiet mind, wisdom, and all of the things that are so essential for living on the earth, as well as connecting with a higher force of energy in the universe. So I wouldn't get too attached to the things you see, because it's just projections of your own inner life. And the deeper you go inside yourself, the more things you're going to see that are being released inside you. So no, I don't think so. I mean, you know, people analyze everything and they really bring everything down to the level of the mind. And the mind is a finite energy. It's an instrument that, if used properly, will develop a really strong chakra system. If not used properly, it becomes something of rationalization, intellectualization, figuring out, and it's endless thinking that creates more tension than any human being needs. So what I suggest, excuse me, what I suggest is using these projections that take place, by allowing them to be a reminder that you have to go deeper inside and you can't allow yourself to get attached to them.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, it's an important question, Brenda, because we like to intellectualize everything. We like to rationalize everything. We like to figure everything out. And in the process of doing these things, we drain ourselves of all our energy. And we make ourselves crazy too. Because I discovered years ago that there's no figuring out what goes on in this world. There's just being in it, being one with it, with everything that goes on, being one with life. And that doesn't take place if we are skeptical, if we are rationalizing, we are intellectualizing. Then we're trying to bring the totality of the universe down to the level of our mind. And the metaphor I always use is like putting an ocean in a teacup. It's not going to fit. The universe is too vast, it's too expansive, it's too beyond all human understanding. And I've said it many times. I once read a thing about Einstein where he just shrugged his shoulders and he said, my God, there was probably no greater brain than his in the 20th century. It must be God, he said. I can't understand any of this. It has to be God. That little concept enables us, when we finally realize that, you know, instead of endlessly becoming, we are. It's to be, not to endlessly becoming. And that takes place when the chakra system is really strong and one can embrace this amazing teacher we have called life and allow it to teach us how to be. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
Stuart, I would like to ask a question. How can I go deeper and deeper in my work with you?
You know,
Because
please try and sit still. You know, look, you know, there's a wonderful Japanese expression, Zen expression. It says, climb Mount Fuji, O snail, but slowly, slowly. And it's so applicable to all of us. You know, we want a great deal, but we have to do it a step at a time. We have to work at it a step at a time. And we have to have patience with ourselves and understand that we all have limitations. And if we don't take it a step at a time, you understand, it's, you know, it's that wisdom of climb Mount Fuji, O snail, but slowly, slowly. You know, and it's the story of the tortoise and the hare, you know, that old fable, you know, where the tortoise wins the race, you know, because it just keeps persisting and moving forward and moving forward, you know, and doesn't pay attention to that part of itself that wants to be there before they're ready to be there, but does the work and puts in all the bricks in the pyramid so that they can truly build a system that allows them to get there. I mean, I remember years ago, when I lived in Woodstock, I would bring my daughter into Manhattan. We would take the train, you know, she was a kid, maybe 6 years old, you know, and constantly, Daddy, when will we be there? When will we? And I said, Ania, we will be there when we get there. Oh, and it's that kind of patience is essential. If you do the work, if you put in the bricks, a mortar at a time, you know, eventually you build a pyramid and you wind up getting there. And the pyramid is an internal, you know, edifice that we build in ourselves. It's the chakra system that eventually allows us to become one with God. We have the inner strength, we're capable of doing it. That's how you can get deeper. Have patience, accept your limitations. Don't let them threaten you, frighten you, and allow yourself to truly take that step at a time. Instead of thinking in your brain that you've got to be perfect and you already have to be, none of us are there. You understand? Every one of us is evolving to get closer to perfection. God is perfect. The rest of us have to use our inner strength and growth to get closer and closer to that perfection. And if people think they have to be perfect in everything they do, they're in for a very painful life, very difficult life. So that's how you grow, a step at a time, a day at a time, a minute at a time. And you build a system inside yourself that allows you to be strong enough to open that doorway that truly leads to God.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And along the way, you learn how to do service in the world. You learn how to surrender. You learn how to let go of all those parts of yourself that are endlessly right about life. You listen to other people. You allow life to be the teacher. You build that kind of inner strength. That really is 90% of the battle right there, to build that kind of inner strength. And that kind of inner strength comes with a highly developed chakra system. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
I have a question, Stuart. I was reading in Rudy's book, he talked about when you ask to open or drop tension or both, he's like, you have to ask from as if like someone's life depended on it. And then you see the superficiality of asking in that practice. So can you talk about that level of asking?
Well, it's like they say in the Bible, ask and you'll receive. We have to ask. Not only ask, we have to demand. We have to really, go so deep in ourselves with a need to grow. And when the asking is connected to your need to be with God, this is very real. Listen, then you get the Shakti, the energy comes back to you. If it's just, God, I want to be enlightened tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, and blah, 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 this is bullshit asking, And then asking has to be followed up by your actions, what you do to attain this. What activities in the world you do that enables you to get closer to God, that enable you to get closer to God. So asking is on many levels. It's, I really need and I want, and very superficial asking is going to take you nowhere. But when the need is deep inside a human being, that hunger is really deep inside a person, where a person is really starving to death inside and need to have a spiritual life, and they begin to ask, the universe will listen and it'll come back, especially if the person is doing work inside themselves, that enables them to build a system that can receive what the universe wants to give. You understand? It's a two-way street. The universe is endlessly wanting to give teachings, knowledge, wisdom, growth, spiritual connections. But people have to have systems inside that allow them to receive it. Because this is really powerful energy. And if you don't develop that kind of system inside, you can ask until you're blue in the face and nothing is going to come. If you build that kind of system and your need is really deep, asking is the greatest way to open those doors that allow you to get on the pathway to God. So there's two, types of asking. And then there's the third element, which is building an inner life that is strong enough to receive God's energy. That's the job of a human being. And that's the job that very few people do. And it's also why there's so much craziness in the world. Because most people, they don't ask, they demand what they think is coming to them. That's all just ego, and it becomes nothing more than tension. When you demand with love, with gratitude, with an open heart, when the need is connected to you wanting to be one with God, when you're working to build that kind of system inside yourself. Trumpets go off in the cosmos. It's the Hallelujah chorus from Handel's Messiah that goes off up there. And what comes is endless energy, healing, balance, love, gratitude, mastery of one's inner self. So Rudy was talking about all kinds of need and all kinds of asking. And I mean, I'm hoping this clarifies it, because it's a really important subject. Oh God, I want a spiritual life. That's bullshit, But when it comes, like from the belly of the beast, it comes from deep inside. And you are doing what you have to do here to build an inner life that makes this possible. I mean, what comes from the cosmos is it's astonishing. The wisdom, the knowledge, the energy, the strength, the balance in a human being, it's all given to one because one puts together that equation, need and doing the work to allow that energy from the cosmos, from a higher place, to come into us and nurture us. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? I mean, ask questions. This is really something that's happening here. I mean, I'm just astonished at what happens in these question things.
Stuart, I have a question.
Good.
So when you're asking and you have that deep hunger, like I really get that. And then what happens when you start to be able to work well and feed the hunger, So in some sense, there's that level of being able to satisfy.
Zach, let it happen and you'll never ask this question. You will discover what happens. It's nothing I can explain to you. I can't explain what happened to me when that hunger started to get fulfilled in my sight. So it's something amazing that takes place in you, and there's no understanding it. Suddenly the whole perspective of your life changes. The way you see the world changes. Your ability to see what's real in the world manifests. Your ability to see what's an illusion in life manifests. You change inside. And it's just something amazing. It's miraculous that takes place. And there's no explaining it. And then on that, you build even a deeper inner life, getting closer and closer to God, to higher energy. So I can't explain that, I mean, when you reach a place in yourself where that happens, you understand, you'll comprehend what it's all about. I mean it. But to, diagram it on a blackboard and try to explain, I can't do it, This is a mystery that's beyond human comprehension. It really is. And it's probably one of the greatest mysteries that exists for all of us. And it's that mystery of what happens when one connects with higher energy in the universe. So don't even worry about that. You just have to do the inner work. And then one day this happens. It's like, it's like in Zen, the sound of one hand clapping, I mean, if you think about it, it'll drive you crazy. What's the sound? Well, the sound is silence, I mean, and silence is one's connection with higher energy in the universe, I mean, and, I never got that until one day I experienced it. And then it became really simple and clear. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, well, again, bless you all. Thank you. And in all humility, I am so grateful to be here to do this. And, there'll be a class. What is today? Monday? On Wednesday? What is today? It is Monday?
Monday.
Sunday, really?
No, Monday.
Monday.
Monday, I don't even know anymore. And there'll be a class on Wednesday. All the days are like one now, it's amazing. So there'll be a class on Wednesday. And I'm hoping to see everybody. And in all humility, thank you. God bless you all for being here, for allowing this level of teaching and connection to manifest so that all of us can learn something about what we have to do to grow spiritually. So bless you all. Thank you. And hopefully I'll see everybody on Wednesday.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you, Stuart.
Very much, Stuart.
God bless you.
Wonderful.
Happy full moon. No, it just happened.